Hey everybody, Ben here. Thanks for being here. Thanks for showing up for yourself each and every day. So if you're here from the short, you already have a backstory. If not, our word was vegetation. And right before that word came up, I started to feel sad. At first I thought maybe it was something with me, and then it later came clear that no, it was picking up on a much larger collective of sadness. And when we think about this, it's obviously we think about what we're experiencing and our struggles and our frustration in life are big in our experience. Now let's multiply that by uh, everyone else out there. And sure, they may not look like they're struggling or have hard times, but everybody has some sort of struggle inside. But the way that this felt, it was a very, I can't really explain it. It was a sadness, but it's covered up. It's covered up with things. When we think of vegetation, we'll say an environment where a lot of different plants and trees and bushes, shrubs grow and create this group of territory or environment that certain things grow in that area. We can think of that as a collective of people. And it started to get sad when I was reflecting on the aspect of, uh, let's say something grew. We'll just use like a forest, for example. Like a tree's already grown, its roots are dug in there, it's big, it's stable, it's established, and it's bigger. So if we have like a little seed that starts to grow next to it, and it's fighting so hard, or in a grass field, and this new seed there, and everything else is this tall, how is that seed going to get sun? And it struggles and it fights so hard to get up to finally see the sun. And now it's coming through that, hey, it's time to die. It was a very sad, struggling experience. And we all have these struggles to some extent, whether our whole life or throughout life. And we look around and, if I was just that seed, picture Bug's life and shrink ourselves way down and be that small and looking up at everything else around us that is uh, fighting or against us or not helping us, to get up. We look at that forest, the canopies of the trees would cover all the sun. How are we supposed to find that little bit of sun to keep pushing forward? Supporting angel number card was angels are near. Also goes into getting reassurance, support, guardian angels, uplifting message, protection. A couple seconds ago, my heart began to hurt, and it is hurting again. Uh, we can look at, yes, angels are near. It is very clear that we're not alone, which we never are, but it's also that we're not the only one, and this isn't to make it better. It's not to make it easier. This isn't uh, a super positively charged. Well, I don't know if any of my messages are. They're more focused on self healing and getting through difficult times. But uh, we're not the only person going through it, and an energy is so thick and it's so sad. And I don't know how to explain that. Like when I think of sad, it's someone over there crying, but it's so much deeper than that. It's rooted so much deeper on an aspect of uh, I don't know a better word. I don't know how to explain it. It's very melancholy. It's just very gloomy. It is dense. It is a shame. When we think of that vegetation term and a collective as a whole, how can we be uh, so positive in this energy or in general? And oh, I just want to cry. It's how can we get up and still reach for that sun with everything else that's going on around us, whether on a personal level or larger, other people, places, and things. It's really where we have to find that inner strength and find reasoning in our experiences and uh, a purpose. And it doesn't have to be a special purpose like something spiritual with all these gifts or anything in the limelight. It doesn't have to be flamboyant. It is a fulfillment inside finding that, as small as it may be, as feeding birds in your backyard, anything to bring you some sort of fulfillment and joy, something to look forward to, that enlightens us, that makes us feel like we are part of something larger than us and is fulfilling us in the same way. Uh, I don't think this message is going to be super long, but we'll see if anything else here wants to come through. Three of Swords, heartbreak. It's sure it can be with other people, but it's just in general. It is uh, the never-ending struggle to survive, to exist, to be nurtured, accepted, cared for, and I guess the easier way is going back to that imagery of the grass field and everybody else is this tall, or at least it appears that way, that everybody is this tall, while in essence there's other blades of grass that aren't as tall in the middle, in the weeds of it all, in the thick. And we're in our experience, and we're just looking around that everything else is smothering me, and I'm just trying to get to that light, the sun, God's source, our nutrients, our needed uh, bit to survive. And that's on the external. The sun is out there. When we think of a plant or any type of vegetation growing, we also have our roots in the dirt. We need that nutrients as well. If we don't, and we actually did get the sun, it would just burn us. It would take us out. So we also need that. And it's not just water. That dirt, that soil needs to be fertile. So this is also kind of portraying that we don't see that part. We don't see what's going on there. We can't bend our blade of grass down and dig up the dirt and see our roots. We can't see the ecosystem down in the dirt and the nutrients. We might be able to feel it. We might be able to feel it up our ass and be like, yeah, uh, I didn't want that mineral in me, something like that. But the aspect I was trying to get across is when we're looking out here as the blade of grass and all we see is the sun and everything else around us and what all they're doing and how the wind's blowing, and our goal is just to get taller than them, to be able to breathe, to get that sunlight. Word, how often are we paying attention to those roots, that rooted experience, that nutrients that if we don't have, we're going to get burnt. We're going to get burnt out. We're going to get taken out of the game. And that is that hidden experience. And that would be qualified as internal, I'll say. Because if we're that blade and we're looking out, everything else is external. And that's what's our goal, that sun, getting taller than everybody else. And not so much in a power struggle. It is just, I'm up here now and I can breathe and I have this so-called nutrients or nourishment that I need to survive. But without that lifeline in the dirt or the soil, grounded, rooted in something that fulfills us, that is hidden from the other blades of grass, can we be stable enough to survive? If we think about that, if we're doing something very small or large that actually brings true fulfillment, that good nutrients, that nourishment that we need, and it makes us feel a certain way, maybe other people see us do it, or they don't know we do it. Well, they wouldn't know how it feels in here. But they all know that, hey, being up here and being in the sun, in the light, is what everybody wants, and needs. But what does that soil, that nutrients inside do for in here? Started to feel a little less sad talking about that aspect. A Nine of Cups, fulfillment. We were just kind of talking about that. What can we do? What can we bring into our experience to do that? That it doesn't have to be noticed because, like I said, it's in the dirt. And it's not like that's a bad thing or it's hidden on purpose. It is special to us. Every different species needs different nutrients, just like us. Sure, we could simplify it down to a diet. Uh, the same diet's not going to work for everyone. Uh, Whatever our body needs, we're all different. The same kind of interaction with people is going to be different. We all have different hobbies or excitements or interests, and we all have our heart touched. I'm gonna cry in different ways. It is this yearning or necessity for us to be touched this way. And if we're just looking out on the outside and we think the sun or the being high enough to get that air that breathes is the way, it's in the nutrients, it's in the dirt, it's in the soil where we are rooted, which we can really reflect on the aspect of our soul where it is uh, so imperative that we get that kind of nutrients versus what's out there on the external. And if we're often guided or guiding that way with the sun or the external versus what's really important for us. And that kind of goes into when people talk about following your soul or what your heart says. And that's going to be different for everyone. And when we reflect that or those decisions based upon what everybody else is doing in the grass field and trying to do that aspect or get taller or get to the sun, uh, we're skipping that aspect. And then we'll get burnt because we don't have that good flow from the soil. Too many. I have been able to turn the aspect of crying off, so maybe we have been neglecting, this aspect a bit. Uh, Easier said than done. Have we really taken time to reflect? Because when I said about that sad, like I couldn't pinpoint it, and it's covered up somehow. It is, and it's collectively. And if we really think about it, we can't pinpoint it. We don't always take the time to look at it to see what it is. But it doesn't just appear like, hey, I'm sitting here and I'm just crying. It'd be like I'm crying and I don't know why. It is something deeper. A page of cups reversed. Uh, Immaturity. Uh, it is obviously we have not fully grown yet. We would already be in the sun. We would be tall up there with everybody, and we would feel established or free or stable of some sort. Uh, sure, we can look at the sun helps us grow, but that stuff in the nutrients in the soil can help too. And if we don't have that, if we don't have that supply, that lifeline, that bit of fulfillment and stability there, well, obviously we could just get ripped right out with the wind. We could get burnt in the sun. It's this balancing game of being in the external and the internal versus just all the external or all the internal. We obviously need both to be here, to flourish, to survive. And coming back to that inner experience, it doesn't have to be crazy, like I said. What can we do that actually kind of puts that smile on your face that others can't or don't experience? It's very personal to us, every one of us. And uh makes me sad again, but it's like those happy tears. It touches us in a way that nothing else can. How can we bring that back into our experience or take more time to make that a thing? The magician reversed. Trickery. This is this whole idea that it's all out there. I'm this blade of grass and all I see is what's out here and around me. And if I just got a bit taller, I'd have everything I want because that's what everybody else got. If I was in that sun, if I was tall as everyone else or taller, I'd be able to feel the breeze. I'd be able to dry off a bit quicker with the dew. I would be up there and I'd be able to see what's actually going on without all this clouded experience. But if I'm not rooted here and I don't have this good flow of nutrients in it, and it's just uh, really prioritizing what is what is important to us to change the experience a bit of how shitty life can be at times. How can we do this? I'm probably gonna leave it here. Wish you all the best. Hopefully this resonated, and we can all take a bit of time to reflect on that and get that smile at least once a day. I'll talk to you all later.